Everybody, guess what? It's Monday. We got a really big treat for you. We've got the winner of Hell's Kitchen, Chef Alex Belew. I'm so excited. We finally get to connect and talk about this. And by the way, you're a very good liar because you've been lying to me this whole time.
Lied to everybody. It's the one time in life that I was paid to lie. So,
I mean, let's talk about that. How hard was that?
I'm sorry?
How hard was that to keep that a secret? For how long?
Well, we couldn't even talk about the fact that we were on the show for 7 months, 7.5 months. And then, every week you just acted like, who's going to go home today? And you're like, not me. But you just had to act surprised about everything. And I had people asking me if they could sell my house. When are you going to move to Atlantic City? I'm like, I have no clue what you're talking about. There's so much more to see on the show before we get to that point. So it was a lot. I had to bribe my children. I was like, listen, if you tell anybody, I'm going to go to jail. And you love your daddy? If you love your daddy, you cannot tell anybody because I'll go to prison. And they're like, I don't want you to go to jail. They kept a secret. But then
That's good.
But then the Friday after it aired, they went to school and they were like, my dad is Gordon Ramsay. And I was like, not Gordon Ramsay. Not it at all. So.
That is so funny. So let's talk through this whole season. We talked about in the beginning. We talked to you before the first episode aired. You were on the over 40 team. It was Battle of the Ages. And look, you're the last man standing in the over 40 category. Pretty incredible.
Yeah, the old guy won. I mean, I'm officially the oldest person to ever win Hell's Kitchen by like 4 or 5 years, I think.
Really?
Typically a younger person wins. So, my teammates were just getting assassinated from day one, just one by one, from boxed pasta to raw chicken to a guy just straight up quitting on the second day. It was bad. And the whole time I was like, is this real? Like, these are my teammates? I'm not going to make it. Every night I went to bed, I just closed my eyes and I was like, God, please make me a butterfly so I can just fly away. It was tough. I mean, some of them were great. Most everybody was great. Most of us still talk daily, but there were a few. If you watch the whole season, you're like,
yes. Okay, let's talk about this. You had the most. Did you realize how many expressions you were making on the show? Because like every time, it's like they had a camera guy pointed towards you. Because every time they would make an announcement, it'd be your reaction. You'd be like, oh.
Yeah, I am clearly a terrible poker player. Apparently, it's just all right here. And I had no idea that I made that many facial expressions watching. I mean, I'm a bunch of GIFs now. That's where it's gotten me. I'll see myself on like a Facebook post in a comment as somebody like rolling their eye. I'm like, oh my God, this is so weird. No, I didn't realize I was so expressive. It's been it's humbling to watch yourself on TV. Everyone should have to do it at least once in their lives. Just to listen to yourself speak on television is brutal. I mean, it's brutal.
Yeah. But hey, it worked out. It's all great. Tell me about that last cook-off when you had to select your team. Everyone was surprised you put Tara on your team.
Yeah. Everybody was surprised I picked Brett too, but Brett has got a great attitude, and attitude goes a long way in the kitchen. And he is a very, don't get in your own head. Don't get bogged down. Just keep pushing. And so in the beginning, the menu was much more streamlined and smaller. And when we went to final dinner service, we had to add like 6 or 8 things on the menu. And I didn't know that. And so I put people on stations that I thought could handle the stations. And then other things that didn't get on the show happened. So that was a little stressful. Tara killed it on apps the whole season, though. I mean, she could crank out risotto without a problem. So, and we got along, and that whole like punishment pass thing, I've been called I don't even know what I was called. I've been called a lot of different things.
Yeah, that seemed to really hurt. She was upset by that.
Well, I picked her because I thought she would handle. I had to pick a female.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
men versus women. What am I supposed to go to Gordon and be like, Gordon, I'm giving you my punishment pass? So, I mean, what was the option? So I picked Tara because she was the oldest, and I figured she would handle. And to be fair, she was on a reward the day before. So it's not like she had been in back-to-back punishments.
Yourself.
Like myself. Yeah. So I gave it to her because, the time before when Alejandro used it, it wasn't a great transition for her. She was pretty upset. And then there was a bunch of beef between her and AB. So I picked Tara because I thought she would handle it the best. And I was wrong. And I've apologized, and we made up. And so we're all good. We're all good.
So far, that's all you're going to say about that.
Yeah, we're all good.
And so tell me about that moment when you figured out or found out that you had won. That is so suspenseful. I was watching that. You're standing behind that door. You're trying to figure out if your door is going to open. What was that like?
I mean, I was like kind of jiggling it, trying to get a feel like, is it loose? Is it locked? But I couldn't tell anything. I mean, my heart was definitely in my nose. Like it was like, I mean, all the tension was there. And it's hard to put into words how Daphne and I were both so exhausted. I mean, we had just been asleep 20 minutes before that. We passed out mid-conversation while we were in our dorm room, while we were waiting for Chef Ramsay to make his decision. We were in the middle of talking just like this, and then we both woke up 45 minutes later. Like it was like we were just dead. I mean, no sleep, all of your emotion, all of your brain power, everything. You're just spent. And physically, emotionally, mentally, you're just drained. And, we walked back through behind the scenes, and it was very intense. I didn't know which way it was going to go because Daphne turned a huge corner towards the end. I mean, winning the food and the E! Online magazine cover and the Trejos Tacos thing. She's tremendously talented. And so I didn't, and he always picks a young person. So I was like, she's moldable. She's young. She's great. She's talented. She's creative. I need a walker and an ibuprofen drip. So he's not going to go with me. And then my door opened. So it was cool.
Man. Well, tell us about what's next for you. People have been asking. I know that you've been doing a lot of different things. I've been following you on social media. You've been doing pop-ups. But what's coming up next?
So I'll be in Miami this weekend at the South Beach Food and Wine Festival with Hexclad. And then the next week, I'll be in Paso Robles with Daphne and Alejandro. We're doing a pop-up at Marino's Vineyard. And then I come back for maybe a week or two. And then I think I go somewhere else. And I don't know. And then we're going to Virginia to do a pop-up. And we're all over the place. Life is very strange. And then Caesars Atlantic City and I have come up with a resolution because logistically moving my family to Atlantic City for a year is not that easy when you have a family. Right. And so with my wife's father just passing away 2 weeks ago and her mom, needing some help. And then my mom is like 4 minutes away from us and we're the only family that she has. And so we decided to stay here, but I'm taking the position on like a part-time basis. So I'll be there once or twice a month on the weekends. And then in the summer, we'll probably do like a 2 to 3 week residency. And I'll be doing some chefs tasting menus. And we're just going to try to figure it out. I'll be up there March 23rd to the 25th for the first weekend. Then we're setting the schedule for the rest of the year.
Wow.
And then other than that, I'm working with a couple of companies that are doing really cool things. I'm going to design a hat for the hospitality industry. It's actually this company right here. It's called Melon. They make great hats, and we're going to make one specifically for like line cooks. So it'll be grease proof, fire retardant, waterproof, aroma proof. And then like a percentage of the proceeds will go to Second Harvest Food Bank.
Nice.
Hungry kids. And I've got some stuff going with the Predators. It's just, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Well, when are we doing a pop-up here locally?
Well, I did one maybe a month ago in Murfreesboro. And then I've spoken to Chef Josh at Bastion in Nashville, and we're probably going to try to work something out where I can do some pop-ups there because they're closed 2 to 3 days a week. So it'll be like a Sunday, Monday situation. And yeah, it's just as much as my schedule will allow it to. The pop-ups can be logistically kind of hard to figure out. It's all, packing up and moving and finding a new kitchen and selling out an event. And it can be hard and a lot to manage. So I'm working on that. And then I'm helping some other friends with their pop-ups. I'm just kind of doing a lot of things right now.
Man, well, we're so excited. Did I see that you won the key, or you were given the key to the city?
Yeah, that was crazy. Shane sent me a text and was like, "Hey man, I'd love to award you with the key to the city if you come to the city council meeting." And I was like, "That's insane." I was like, "Is there a vault that this thing unlocks?"
Yeah, that's what I want to know. What do you do with the key to the city?
Debt that I didn't take care of. It's currently on my mantle in a shadow box. I don't think it opens anything.
Oh.
But it's a huge sign of respect. I kind of looked up the meaning of it, and it kind of goes back to the medieval times when they used to have a gate that locked the city to protect it, and those who had a key to the city were the most trusted and respected and honored. So it was a big deal.
Wow. Well, we're so happy for you, and we're so happy to catch up with you. Keep us posted. I'm coming to your next local thing, so let us know. We'll get the word out.
It definitely won't be until probably late March, but I am trying to do things. It's just when you're traveling every 4 days, trying to cram something in it's hard. I'm not used to this lifestyle at all. I mean, I went from standing in a restaurant 90 hours a week, and I went to like the grocery store and to my restaurant, and then to now have, a frequent flyer number. It's very, very weird. It's very weird.
Yeah.
I'm not used to it. So maybe I'll get used to it.
Well, so if you do one local, you're going to bring Daphne here too, maybe?
So Daphne and I are doing a pop-up in Bristol, Virginia on May the 19th. And I think she's going to fly in to Nashville. And so we're going to drive to Bristol. I think we will probably try to do a pop-up here the next Monday. But she's from LA and she's hard to wrangle. So I'm not sure if it's a done deal. Plus, she has a job and a boss, and she obviously has responsibilities back home. And so we're working on that.
That'll be great. That'd be fun.
Yeah, she's great.
Love to see that. So you've got a lot going on the rest of the year. Wow. I mean, did you ever expect that it would look like this?
No, I didn't have any idea of what to expect. Honestly, it's like looking at a picture of the moon and then standing on the moon. Like you're like, oh, look, it's the moon. And then you're like, oh God, I'm on the moon. They're two very different things. You're just trying to be accessible and, respond to all the super nice messages that I'm getting. People are really, really supportive. Like it's a cool thing to see so many people say. A lot of people just loved my wife's reaction as well, which there was a comment on YouTube. And it was like, everybody needs somebody like that in their lives. And to see how excited and happy she was when I came through that door, I get choked up just thinking about it. That was a really cool moment. So I had no idea what to expect, and for me, it's like, this is 13 months old, this news. And now it's like reliving it for the first time because
Right.
it happened, but it didn't really happen.
Right.
So now it's out there, and it's just weird when people like come up to you and they're like, "Are you on Hell's Kitchen?" Yeah, I've been working out in the same gym next to you for a year, so I'm the same guy. Same guy.
Well, yes, that's good to know. So when people see you, they can come up to you and say, "Hey, we
Yeah,
saw you."
yeah. I mean, I'm still not used to it. I'm probably going to act weird because I'm like, me? Somebody is Ryan Reynolds behind me? Like, oh, you actually want to talk to me? Okay, I don't know that I'm that interesting, but yeah, I mean, say hi for sure. It's cool. I met like 8 people yesterday that wanted to see me. It's just, again, for me, it's very bizarre. I'm just a dude.
And we were talking about this before we went live. You have your own Reddit page. Like, you have arrived when you have your own Reddit thread. People are talking, and like I saw you were interacting with people.
Yeah, I mean the Hell's Kitchen Reddit thread, there's like 41,000 active members on that page, and they really love that show. Like, they're diehard Hell's Kitchen fans. They love Ramsay. They love that show. They really get involved, and I think my season cast was very different from all the other seasons. Like, we weren't diabolical, we weren't dramatic, we weren't sabotaging each other. We genuinely liked each other, so we've all supported each other, and we were active on that thread, and it was blowing people's minds that we were actually responding to them.
Yeah.
Like, throughout the season, they'd say something, I'd be like, "That's not what happened." They're like, "Oh crap, is that really you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sitting on my couch on my laptop eating Doritos. It's really me." And they're like, "Dude, oh my God." And they're like freaking out. I'm just like, I mean, it's just another social media app, really. But it's been fun to get their feedback and their, the way they see the show versus what actually happened. There's so much that you don't see. And I'd love to have all that data just to watch it. Because I mean, the dorm rooms, we lived together for a month. And you can develop a pretty tight bond when you don't have a cell phone, you don't have the internet, you don't have TV, all you have is each other. And so you can get pretty tight with random strangers when you're cooking and living with them for a month. It's been cool. And there's been a lot of really cool supporters online. And of course, there's some haters sprinkled in there. But, as Cat Williams says, if you don't have haters, you're not doing it right. You can't, even Jesus couldn't be all things to all people. So why would anyone think they could be?
Right. Well, so when people want to keep up, you're still posting on your Instagram, you're letting people know where you're going to be.
Oh yeah. I'm as active as I can be on social media. It's, that's the best way to disseminate information, honestly, is like just to make a story or make a post. And I try to respond to most, all the messages that I get. Some fall through the cracks, obviously. But yeah, that's the best, just follow me on Instagram. I have a professional Facebook page. I don't really post personally on Facebook anymore. I kind of got away from all that. I don't know. Life is weird. Everything can be misconstrued or taken the wrong way. So I just post pictures of my food or my family, and then I go bye-bye.
There you go. All right. Well, go follow him. Alex is just Chef Alex.
Just Alex Belew on Instagram.
Alex Belew. Okay. Go follow him. You'll get all the details. Can't wait to see you do a pop-up in Nashville or somewhere close by.
If I can do a place in Franklin, I can do one there. And I think we're trying to figure out the Nashville location. So it's all about finding a location that works and a chef and a restaurant owner that's willing to do it. Because some, understandably, some just aren't comfortable with the idea of somebody else being in their space, which I totally understand.
Right. Hey, well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
I'm so excited. I can't believe you've held that for so long. You fooled us all. I got to say that again. I cannot believe it.
Yeah, it was, it was more annoying than it was hard because I wanted to be like, I won. But it's like, but don't say anything. Like, if you got to be able to really trust. I mean, it was a $5 million NDA.
Wow.
Those are big numbers. And if just
Yeah.
one person was like, met Alex Belew, the winner of Hell's Kitchen, you're like, oh God, my life is over. So had to be real careful.
Yes. Well, you did it. You won. Thank goodness. We're so excited. And hey, kudos to us over 40 that you showed up for us.
Life is not over. Life is not over after 40. I was listening to a podcast today, and the guy that wrote the book, The Gray Man, that became a Netflix movie with Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans.
Yeah.
He did not get published until he was 42 or 43 years old. And then, you read about all these people who, Julia Child, she didn't make it until she was in her 40s or 50s. And then Colonel Sanders and all these people like Sam Walton. Like, life's not over when you get old. You can have a great idea when you're 55 and then execute it and just totally change the world. So
there you go.
Never stop dreaming, never stop pushing. That's, hopefully I'm 41 and I'm hopeful that this will be the best decade yet.
I think you should franchise that. Never stop dreaming, never stop hoping.
The word of my life is perseverance. And so that word is my grandfather. That was his big thing. And I don't know. It's, I've hit a lot of walls in my life, especially in the last 5 years. And I never quit. I got down, I got frustrated sometimes, but I always had people to lean on and tell me to keep pushing. And, had everything not worked out the way that it did, good or bad, I wouldn't have had this opportunity and I wouldn't be where I am. So if I hadn't lost my restaurant and pivoted to a meal prep and been bored and all those things that while I was living it were so bad. I mean, so miserable. So like I'm second guessing every decision I've ever made in my life, bitter, frustrated, depressed. All of those things led me to seeing an application and going, what else am I doing? I'll apply. And then 6 months of interviews and application processes. And then to come out on the other side, it's exactly what I needed, exactly when I needed it. And it's just because I never gave up.
Yeah.
So.
That's a great message. I think we're going to end on that. Never give up. All right. We'll see you soon. We'll catch up. Hopefully we can talk again when you've got details of your local pop-up.
All right. Thank you.
All right. See you soon.
Bye.